And we're back with some songs of sticks, whatever. But before we start, this game is incredibly ugly. Look at that, that's the characters out there, that's the little people running around. However, it does have some things going for it that made it very interesting and made me want to give it a go, so I thought I'd point those out before we start getting into the nitty gritty of this. So popping onto the Steam website, it's kind of where you end up just browsing for all your games, especially just to see which ones are popular, but what I like to do is tick games. Namely because that gets rid of all the weird ones like songs and demos and stuff like that. We want the actual good stuff here. And then instead of sort by relevance, because we're not actually searching for anything, we want to sort by user reviews. And you want user reviews because actual reviewers are morons and, you know, they have other agendas. Actual people tend to enjoy games and go, yes, I like it or don't. Now, unfortunately, this does result in a few problems. Some of the recommended things don't really fit with what we're looking for. So what we're going to do is go in here and we're going to start getting rid of some of the potential things we could be shown. I mean, dating sims and visual novels don't really seem like they fit with the channel, so yeah, let's just not include those. Adding in a few more things that don't really fit within the channel so much. Also, there's a disturbing amount of games on here that are just weird. This is looking a little bit more realistic. It's even got Vampire Survivor up here somehow, and RimWorld, so we're definitely on the right track. Now, what I do like to do is, this is still a little bit wonky, so usually I go in with strategy here. And then once we've got in under strategy, RimWorld floats right to the top, which seems like a good sign. We've also got Mountain Blade Warband, Satisfactory, and Dyson Sphere all here around the top. All games the channel has hosted before, so definitely good. We've also got Factorio just down here, and Oxygen not included close by. There's even Ministry, so I was like, yeah, this is about the right area to go to. I've looked at a whole bunch of these games, and some of them have amazingly good trailers, but not all of them fit with the channel, so to speak. And some of these are just plain cheating. But one thing I like to do was, I wanted something modern. I wanted to play a modern game, preferably with nice graphics. Yeah, that didn't work out so good. But anyway, that left us with very limited options, because Satisfactory and Dyson Sphere, we've already touched those. So that's Desperados 3 and Door Kickers 2, which are basically turn-based type of things where you send it. It wasn't really appropriate for the channel, though I am kind of curious about them, since they rate so highly. Oh, Warsim. This is a text-based game. Novalands is free. Yeah, free games shouldn't count. Namely because when it comes to free games, they always get an overwhelmingly positive view. Creeper World, yeah, I kind of played that a bit. Brutal Orchestra came in quite nicely up here. Yeah, I think I may have went a little bit too far down the weird zone with that one. So that was a no. Yeah, that was just a no. I mean, don't get me wrong, curious, but I'm not sure it fits. Skipping past those, we get down to Open TTD, or Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe, which I am 100% positive was not made in 2021. That was made in the 1990s for DOS, so yeah, they're sneaky there, but no. Ooh, and there's Supreme Commander, Kingdom Rush, Dawn of War, Orcs Must Die. Like, there's a whole bunch of games here that I have played way too much of. Oh, Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword, XCOM, UFO Defense, Total Annihilation, and there was Song of Sticks. Now, I was not immediately sold on Song of Sticks, but when you realize you can have fights this big with this many people, it's kind of dawned on me, this game starts really small. You start off sort of RimWorld sized, and then you start scaling up, and things get bigger and more ridiculously oversized. So, yes. I mean, that is a late game city right there. That's not a town, that's not a village, that's not a settlement. That's a frickin' city. Look at that thing. Like Christ. The next closest option after Song of Sticks, we would just have to pass Master of Orion 2, which is pure crack to me. Then we'd have to go past Age of Empires 2, Kenshi, FTL, Warhammer 40k, Medieval 2, Definitive Edition, Dwarf Fortress, and then we've got Against the Storm. So Against the Storm was the other option. And I was tempted because Against the Storm actually has shinier graphics and looks better, but I decided I wanted to give this game a try, because it had really good reviews, only about a quarter the amount of reviews as Against the Storm, but options, and more options it seems to possess. And all of that is how I ended up right here. So anyway, we're going to play a game here. We're going to start with random, and then there's a whole bunch of things you can change here, like the map type, pre-generated, or just completely random. There seems to be all these scripts over here. I haven't played around with them, but eclipses spawn mysterious eclipses during gameplay. Okay, Krull's Revenge. Spawn an angry warlord with a huge army once you reach 6,000 population bent on destroying you. And dig too deep. Adds a slight chance that when digging into mountains you dig too deep and strange things begin to happen as a result. So let's just select all of those. Yeah, why not? Now you can choose your starting race over here. These are the Cretans. Well, okay, it's probably pronounced Cretonians, but I'm calling them the Cretans. They're basically farming-loving hippies, so nope. Then you've got the Dondorians, sturdy and stubborn, doesn't much care for farming but excels at mining, and dwarves. They're freaking dwarves, okay? It's just, yeah. Garmithri, love death and destruction while caring little for the finer things in life. High reproduction rate. Basically goblins, as far as I can tell. Goblins or something along those lines. You got your humans, and then you got territorial, bloodthirsty guardians of the forests, are perfectly suited to tent forestry, animal husbandry, and dispensing swift death alike. They are no strangers to cannibalism. I mean, come on. They've got cannibalism on them. Like, we've got to at least try them, right? So, we'll leave everything else as default, and we're going to play as the forest cannibals? Wait, are they elves? No, elves don't eat people, do they? So what are... You know what? Doesn't matter. Then that'll bring you to the screen. This is where you get to choose where you start. That four little box thing. And as you can see, this is the map. Now, the map is huge, and it's got these territories on it. For example, you can see that territory there. So you'll somehow end up taking over this territory if you get big enough, and then you'll sort of have to wage wars, I think, with other territories, or try and turn them into vassals, or maybe you can conquer them. I'm not sure, I haven't got that far. But there's a lot here. Give me a minute while I try and figure out where we want to position ourselves. If you're anything like me, this stuff takes way too long picking a location. Or one thing to realize, the further north you go, you'll see there that climate is cold. So the climate's cold the further north you go, and then as you go south, it becomes temperate, until eventually you go all the way to the bottom, and it gets too warm. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So we want to play somewhere nice and warm. Our people are okay with warmth, but not too warm, and cold, but not too cold. So we should be somewhere around here. And when it comes to picking a settlement, you want to pick a territory that's got good taxes. That seems to be important later on, though I haven't gotten that far. So this place has 12 different items that gets taxed. A lot of grain. Maybe we can use that. But you also want to find a place where you have some deposits, you know, minerals and things like that you can exploit later on. So you kind of want to be touching a mountain, have a bit of river in there, and then lots of forests for trees. And then high fertility. So this place has got about 81% fertility. Let's see, about there. 80% fertility, 97% forests. Little bit of mountains so that we've got all of the necessary minerals. I think that looks just about right. Yeah, we'll settle there. We'll give it a go. Song of Sticks. We'll never survive. Nonsense. You're only saying that because no one ever has. William Goodman, The Princess Bride. The Dread Pirate Roberts. Then this comes up. This is your placement thing. It's how you decide where to place. And as you can see, the map is pretty large. And all of those boxes things are resources that are lying around the map. Like there's a bunch of cow type things. There's a bunch of bug type things that are also harvestable. Cucumbers, apples, or sorry, they're vegetables. They look like cucumbers. Ooh, opium. Excellent. Animals, all sorts of things. But what we want to do is probably settle close to the watery area. But we also want to change a few things here. I think we should probably be a little bit more strategic about this. There's some animals over here we can use for meat. We're going to be a meat-eating race, I remember. So we probably want to position ourselves around here. Leaves us close to the minerals for later expansion. Got some veggies around here we can pick up. And there are these animals on the opposite side of the river. I'm just not sure if we can cross the river to get to them. But I suppose we will find out. We can place ourselves right about there. There's good. Boom. Now, what you get to start with is, well, a very small amount of people, unfortunately, and then these 6 stockpiles, which contain stone, wood, fruit, livestock, rations, and clothes. And I think fruit is probably the first thing we want to take care of. We want to put ourselves down a farming area. There is so much stuff in here. It is kind of crazy. It's semi-sorted in some of the other sections. So, for example, you can go in here and go straight under agriculture, then find farms, and then find fruit. Or you can just go straight through here and go... You start typing in fruit. There's actually a lot of nice stuff they've built into this. Ooh, let me show you the encyclopedia in a minute. That there is going to be our farm. It's going to be for fruit. It requires 2.67 farmers and it has a production of 4.15 fruit. Done. Then when we hit the play button here... oh yeah, they all have to go down and abase themselves before the throne. Or, well, yeah, there they go. It just means they're loyal to us now. More cannibalism. They'd like more cannibalism already. I like these. I've never played this race before, but I think they know what they're doing. Oh, when they smile, that looks terrifyingly scary. Let's not look at them anymore. Alright, they do have some other good features in here. Is it Tome of Knowledge? They have just one brilliant feature I have to point out on this. Just say you would like to look up your race, and you're like, oh, this is great, but how do they compare to other races? Well, here's the Cretans, for example. This is the Cretan race, but we'd like to compare them with our race. And now when you click on a new tab, they pop over here. The thing you're looking at currently shows up on this left side. The thing you looked at last shows up on this right side, allowing you to compare races. That is just such a nice quality of life thing. Like, That's just, maybe it's just because I'm coming away from Dwarf Fortress, but little things like that make me feel good about this game. It's like, yeah, they care about us. But let's just have a quick look here. You see that this race, the Cretans, they're good at fishing, cotton, like opiates, mushrooms, like anything to do with farming, they're good at, except for Baltic crawler breeders. I have no idea what those are. Pretty much anything to do with farming and critter handling, they're pretty good at. These guys, they're only really good at critter handling and something to do with woodcutters. Right, that's it. But they've got no real negatives. These guys have a bunch of negatives to production, fighting, and a bunch of other things that are not great. So I thought we'd give these guys a try. Also, they do cannibalism. Why not? All right, let's finish this off. This will take a minute. Now, one of the reasons I put this down first, it costs fruit to make it. As in, since it's a crop thing, cancel that, it actually requires 18 fruit to be planted to make it grow. So we have 40 fruit to start with, but they're going to start eating their way through that and the rations. So we'd like to just like get the fruit down and utilized before they've eaten it all, and then we can't actually do the fruit farm. If they did eat it all, though, we do have other fruit out there on the map that we can harvest depending on the time of year, so it's not like we'd be locked out of getting it, but it is nice to maybe get it down a little bit sooner rather than later. At the end of the first day, we have our farm down, and a bunch of our pawns are now snoring away, all sleeping the night through. Let's maybe throw down a little bit of a hunter's hut, though. Hunter's huts are a bit unique in that they're just a one-size-fits-all scenario. We'll chuck you down right there, I suppose is good. They'll get around to it when they wake up. In fact, while we're at it, we're going to queue up some clear trees, if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, there you go. So we should probably get some clear rocks as well. Assuming there is any rocks. Ooh, there's not a lot of rock around here. It's okay, there's a mountain nearby and plenty of rocks outside, so if we need it, we can get it. Once this hunter thing is done, that will provide us with a quick burst of food. Hunters basically go around and hunt the local wildlife, which is probably these rams over here, which are quite a distance away, but that should at least bring us in enough food to start. Well, that weather looks absolutely staticky. Alright, are you guys finished with that? Come on, it only takes 50 wood. Oh, and the next thing we got to do is we've got to get our hands on a storage location, but that I think we'll just have to wait until after the hunter's hut is constructed. Guys, you want to get on that? Come on, finish that up. Excellent, it's done. Now, this sort of blue outline you can see from it, that's how far they'll go for hunting. It seems to be a pretty big radius. Covers the rams? Yeah, it definitely covers the rams, and it doesn't cover the pigs though over here, does it? No, the pigs are safe from those hunters. Now, how about this direction? It does actually cover a chunk over here, but I don't think it gets these cows. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a terrible positioning on my part. Learn from my mistakes. Don't do it this way. Anyway, when we click on this building, we can see there is 2 employees here. Those employees will go out, do the hunting, and bring back the meat. Next up, storage area. Storage area is, well, warehouse. That's where we're going to store all of our resources so that they don't go off. If you leave things lying around on the ground, that's usually bad. Warehouses are under infrastructure, logistics, warehouse. This game has a lot going on for it. Okay, let's make it about that size, I suppose. So once you have the size of the room down, what you have to do is put crates in it. Each one of these crates is going to store individual goods, and thankfully there's an E key that allows you to expand the amount of crates, an R key to rotate, and Q allows you to shrink it. This usually allows you to, fit in kind of what you want. Ooh, no, expand. Now we have to get these all to fit in quite nicely, but people still need to be able to access it. So if we put this, say, up against the wall, no one can access those crates at the bottom. This leads to a sort of a Tetris-style minigame where you're trying to fit everything in. Give me a minute. After a bit of fiddling around, this is what we've settled on. We're going to have these big long crates through the middle that everyone can dump stuff into, and doors here, 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 all the way around so that people can get in and out. Done. And then we're going to let everyone build that. That might take them a minute or two, though. In fact, let's just hit the 4 button, then hit it again to speed up time rapidly. That's going to be your friend. There's going to be a lot of high-speed building you're going to want to do as this goes along, and it allows you to do it. And the game seems remarkably fast and stable about doing things. If yes, still incredibly ugly to look at. Would you look at that? It's perfectly finished. Now what we can start doing is click on this and assigning out things. So we want to store stone. And if we hit +1, it'll store it in 1 container. We'll give it 2. We also want to store livestock. That should go in there as well. We should actually start dispatching those. Livestock, as far as I can tell, is if you build a ranch, it'll just give you whatever of that ranch you want. Just say you want 2 sheep, you get 2 sheep. Or 16 sheep in this instance. Or 15, sorry. Boars, pigs, whatever. That livestock basically turns into that animal. Simplified way of doing things, but it does work. We want rations as well in here. 1 should be fine. Clothes, 27. Yeah, so we'll say 1 for clothes. Fruit will go 1 for you as well. We need somewhere to store all that stuff. Oh, and we're going to need 1 for meat as well because we've just started hunting. And, oh, wood. Couple for wood. For now, I think that's good. What'll happen here, though, is these people will auto-employ the amount of people necessary. They'll move all the stuff from around the base in there. Stuff that's left out in the rain will degrade. You don't want that to happen. Or stuff that's left outside will sort of disintegrate. You want all of that wood moved inside. This is going to take a minute, isn't it? Let's give them a few extra people here. Anyone want to start moving that stuff? That's the basic started. We've got a little bit of food coming in from both of these. It'll show you up here how many days of food you've got left. We have 31 days of food, so we're fine for now. However, there's ways we can increase our population. Basically, migration. You have immigrants who want to try and join your colony because they hear it's a good place to work. And here's all, like this here is all the different types of potential immigrants you could have. For example, we could currently hire a human or a, whatever the bug-looking things are, dwarven-style ones. And we can even get in one of these Cretonians, the Cretans. But we do have 4 of our own kind. And considering our kind are cannibals, I'm willing to authorize it. So let's get 4 more people in here. We have 10 people. That is 14. Now, they don't immediately show up. They come in off the edge of the map, I believe. And then they still have to do the same thing everyone else does. They have to approach the throne room, base themselves before it, and that basically makes them your people. However, introducing all those people, well, it turns out introducing a bunch of immigrants doesn't make them too happy. Let's not get topical here. So what happens is when they come in, it drives down the happiness rate of your people. Just for a bit, it wears off once they get used to them. So what you want to do is keep your pawns happy, and to do that, they'll actually tell you more housing is urgently needed. We would like to be allowed more clothes. They want more cannibalism, and they want access to hearths of good quality. And that's not hearths to eat, but hearth. Like it's a warm. You know what? Let's just build one. There you go. There's a hearth. See, it's got wood stuff on it and things. We will just rotate that. Will that work there? Yeah, let's show that a hearth right about there is fine. And we'll put it. Yeah, done. Go make that. That will actually help them be a little bit happier. In here, though, we're going to switch this to auto, and we are going to downgrade its priority to 9. Everything starts with a priority of 10, so by making its priority 9, they'll fill all of the other jobs first before they get around to doing that. Also, this one should be on auto. Yeah, it's got 2 people on it. What I found, though, was if I didn't put this on 9, this thing could sometimes soak up all the jobs, and people would hang around in here doing nothing when there was loads of other stuff that needed doing. And while we're at it, let's activate all these jobs again. I kind of had turned off these jobs so that the building got done. One thing we also have to build is... Hey, guys, do you want to get on that hearth anytime soon? But one thing we also have to get down is a janitor station. See, janitors do these little repairs around the place, and you need things repaired. Otherwise, that becomes problematic. So let's put a janitor right about there. That'll take them a minute to build. I suppose once they finish chopping down the trees. Do we have more immigrants? Yes, we do. In fact, I think you can just double left click. Yep, and it accepts them. You don't even have to go in here to look. But as you can see, everyone's loyalty took a little bit of a hit there because of all of the new people we're bringing in. It's fine. They'll get used to them. They'll get to know that these people are just as much the raving cannibals as all the rest of them are. Alright, I think our hearth is completed. Yes, it is. Perfect. Then, if we wander in here, we can go into this section and we can go into services. This is where we, well, provide them with services that make them happy. And right now, this is hearts. It's at 0%. Time should go by, though. And hey, someone want to put some firewood in there? Yeah, thank you. Bloody time. Slow coaches. Anyway, where were we? Yes, services. There we go. So the heating spot is going to go up. This will improve, which will improve their mood and make them all a little bit happier, which means we'll get more immigrants, and more immigrants means a larger population, and then we can grow our population that way. Later on, you can actually have children and grow your population that way as well, but early on, it's going to be all about convincing people to come here by making it a nice place to live. Which means we've got to unfortunately take care of them. And this is sort of the progression loop you get caught in. You'll build something to make them happier, then you'll bring in more immigrants, but then you need to build something else that makes them happier. And then some of the later things will require you to have subcomponents like tools or steel or something like that, which forces you to expand out and build more things, all of which require more people working at them to keep them functioning. So the more people you have, the more complex the things it takes to make them happy, which means the more people you need to run those complex things, which means you need more people, and you just keep going on and on, until you hit a certain size, I presume. I don't know, I haven't gotten that far yet. The janitor's job, or the janitor's house, is to repair buildings. Buildings degrade over time, and they need someone to come around and perform maintenance. So without them, your buildings will start to degrade, they will lose performance and efficiency, and they generally just become uglier and people don't want to look at them. So now that we've got a janitor down, this should repair most of our stuff. It was probably a little bit earlier for a janitor, but, you know, I went that way. Over here we've got rocks coming in. Grand. So we've got plenty of wood. Rocks are coming in. Meat is doing real good right now. It's time to make their pawns just that little bit happier. So it's time for accommodation, I think. Now, our people really, really like housing. In fact, I should probably go a little bit back in here. This here is the Tome of Knowledge. This here is our race. This here is the Cretans that, you kind of play by default. Over here it has home privacy. This is basically how much privacy they like. And they like privacy. They like their privacy, so they like private homes. Say, over these guys don't really care about privacy homes. So they're all right sharing housing. So we want to make sure all of our people have as much private housing as possible to keep them happy. There's also other things they like that other people don't like. They like dread. Executions, things like that, they are A-okay with that. Whereas this crowd, they don't like executions and they don't like tourists. Well, neither do our side, but whatever. However, this crowd here really like canteens. Our guys only like canteens just a little bit. So you've got to mix and match what kind of buildings and stuff you go with depending on which race you're playing. As well as that, you can hire multiple races into your colonies, so you might actually have to build up a good smorgasbord of all the different things just to keep all the races happy. Though going with a more mono race might be the simpler and easier thing to do in the long run. And we'll find out. I'm going to stick with our cannibals for a while anyway, just to see how it goes. Now that we've got all of that done, though, it's time to start putting in the housing. Civics, housing, house. We've got apartments, which are small and private. Then we've got houses, which are 75% private, dormitories, which are 50% private, and longhouses, which are not private at all. We're going with apartments. Our people like apartments, so our people get apartments. Doors at the front. You know what? We'll put the doors that way. 2, 3. Nope, that is wrong. Damn it. Much better. So, that is 6 apartments. Actually, did I just integrate those? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I'm double walling these things when I don't have to. So, we're going to delete all those jobs because I'm obviously an idiot. This time, we're going to do it right. We're going to have the housing face that direction. Then, we're going to actually copy the walls. So the walls share a wall with the house adjacent to them just to cut down on construction costs. That looks perfect. Huh. That should keep everyone much happier, and I'm pretty sure we got enough wood to make that happen. All it takes is 9 wood for each of those. Super cheap. Let's lightning speed this. Done. So, everyone should now have housing. Constructed rooms, wrongful deaths. Oops, someone got mauled. Well, that's going to make everyone happy. Not the mauling, but the housing. So let's just bring in 4 new recruits. That brings us up to 20. Excellent. Damn it, do I need more housing? It'll probably tell me if I need more housing somewhere up there. We'll worry about that later. For now, time to start using some of that farming stuff we've got. Or the, what are they called? Livestock. We've got 15 of them in there. And our race is kind of designed for around livestock. They love livestock. Well, they love meat in general, so let's just put down a giant pasture. This here is all 4 types of animals you can currently ranch, or pasture, whatever. But we're going to call it ranching. Now what you got here is, these are pigs. They're called something else, but they're pigs. They give you meat. 1.5 meat. That's 0.06. That's sort of like a baby genetic material that you can use to make more animals. Doesn't really matter what animal you want, it'll allow you to make one. But pigs, meat. 1.5 meat, in fact. Aurochs are basically cows, except half of the meat is lost. You get half meat, but the other half is turned into cow hides. So you get cow hides and meat out of it. This is sort of probably your 2 main ones as far as I can tell. Then you've got your onyx down here, which are basically goats or sheep. They get cotton out of it and a small amount of meat. So you're not getting a lot of meat out of this, but you do get cotton, and the cotton can be used to make clothing and stuff like that. Not sure why I would, considering that the Aurochs give you leather, which can also be used to make clothing. We'll find out. Then you've got your globulin, which basically appear to be some sort of lizards. These produce eggs. You get eggs and a tiny, tiny bit of meat. So this appears to be for eggs. Eggs are liked by some races. Races have likings for different types of food type of thing. We're going to go with the cows. Cows give us 50% meat, 50% hides, and they're pretty good at producing us more material to make more animals. They seem like a good choice for our race. We'll do something like... Ooh, give me a minute to figure out how big I want to make this. That looks fairly decently sized without being too expensive. It might be a bit small, but we'll see. Then we have to put a gate in it. You can't put gates on corners, so we're going to put the gate right there. Excellent. I think we can put in 2 gates. We will put in a second gate. Oh, wait, you can only have 1. Never mind. Done. That should allow us to produce a whole bunch of animals, and it takes all of that stuff we've got in storage. Where is it? Those 15 livestock? Dumps them out there, though. That looks like a lizard-faced livestock. Maybe it is limited in what you can make. We'll find out in a minute, I suppose. I think they are dumping in the cattle. They're somehow sort of just picking them up in here and dumping them in this section. Slowly but surely. What are we up to? We got at least 3 of them in there. Excellent. Keep doing it. This will produce us meat and hides at a steady rate throughout the time. It turns out you can slaughter these if you want if you're in an emergency food situation. But so far we seem to be doing fine. How are we looking here? We have 6 constructed rooms, 1 mauled-to-death person, and homelessness we're looking at 1? Maybe I should put down some more housing. Yeah, hold on a second. A few more houses to tide us over should be fine. Several of those in there should sort us out quite nicely, and we have 4 more immigrants coming. Perfect, we're up to 26 people already. This game kind of does start to scale out of control pretty fast. I like it. We are just about running out of things we can do at the basic tech level, but not quite. There's a few more things we can throw in before we have to start teching up. Under health, we have the option for a well or a lavatory. Now, the lavatory has that little sort of weird chair and a table looking thing. That's called furniture. We're not producing that yet, so we can't make it. But wells only require wood and stone, and these make people happy because it allows them to clean up and wash and stuff, so they're not quite such filthy peasants. So we're going to stick down a well right there to make people just that little bit happier. Another thing we can throw down. Entertainment. We can throw down a speakers section. That only requires stone. The eatery, unfortunately, requires clay, which you don't have, and the restroom requires furniture, or rest home. That's for old people. We don't care about those just yet. And we grab the speaker one, and we'll put them down over there. That should also help people's happiness, which means we'll have more people to import. In fact, how are we looking? 2 more ready to join? Yeah, that brings us up to 27. We are just ramming in the people here. Alright, you guys, could you finish building those? Excellent. I've actually finished them? Nice. In that case, we can pop in here, check under services, and you'll see wells going up. The Hearthstone is at 57. Probably want to build a second one of those, I think, or maybe spread it out. Wells get everyone up to 33. Excellent. And the news spot is actually up at 7%. This is going to make people happier, which is going to increase immigration, which is going to give us more people to work with, which is going to allow us to expand. Next thing we're going to need to do is throw down a quick mass grave. Those things are pretty handy, so we'll check it though a little distance away for now. We're going to want to upgrade to better graves later on because our people like nice graves, so that will do it for the moment. Now, once that's down, we're going to have to start upgrading to the next tech level, and that requires carpentry. To get into this next tech level, we pop in here, we go work, we go crafting, we get carpentry. Now this takes stone and wood to produce, but once it's made, it allows you to produce furniture, and the furniture allows you to produce some of the higher tech buildings. I'm thinking we check it down over this side. There's a nice big area here. Let's make that about 9 wide. Yep, about that long. We're going to need a lot of furniture. Like, jeez, it takes so much furniture. And I see those yellow bits in the middle. That usually gives you an indication of, when rooms are built too deep or too wide, yeah, that's a problem. How did I make that too wide? If you make a room too wide, for example, this one here is 9 by 9, and you see it's getting kind of a weird bluish color in the middle. That means it's starting to get there. And if you go 1 tile beyond 9 by 9, or 9 tiles wide, you get this yellow stuff. That means it takes extra strength or extra reinforcements to build it. It costs extra to maintain it. You're effectively making a really large building with a huge roof that's really hard to support. So what I have decided to do as just sort of a standard is keep everything 9 wide. So that gives you 7 tiles inside to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 tiles wide, and as long as I want to make it. That's 9 tiles wide on the outside in terms of actual walls. So this thing is, oh damn it, this thing here is 7 by 19 or whatever the hell it is. Whatever, you get the point. Now, when it comes to building stuff in here though, there's a few things that go on. One is workbenches. This is where the employees work at. We'll just do a quick temporary showing because this is not how I'm going to commit to it. But we plop this down and you'll see that its efficiency is only 50%. What that means is this is only going to work at half capacity. You need auxiliary stations to bring up the efficiency. So let's say we stick down a very small auxiliary station like this. It brings up the efficiency to 71, then we check down a second one, a third one, and there we go, we're up to 100%. What you want to do is make sure you cram in as many of the workbenches as possible, and then enough auxiliary stations to cram the efficiency up to 100%, and then a bit of storage to handle the output. There needs to be storage bins for the output. This needs to be an infinite amount, but enough to store it temporarily until it's moved to a centralized storage locations. Otherwise, if the storage backs up in here, it won't produce any more furniture for us. So give me a minute to Tetris something in here. This is completely oversized. It requires 21 employees and it will produce 16 furniture a day. We can't we can't support 21 employees in that. I think we have, what, 29 people in total? But we can expand. We're not here to... We're going to have more and more people coming along, so we're going to need to keep expanding this as time goes by. So we're going to construct that for a lot of wood. Just so much wood. Okay, everyone, get to work on that. We're going to go to warp speed here, and oh my god, I love that you can just double tap 4, goes to warp speed. Makes things so much faster. Did winter? Did we just miss winter? We might have just missed some snow there. Whatever. It happens. They've now produced this carpentry section. Now, this consumes wood, which is fine. Sufficient workers allocated. We'll have it set to auto-employ. People will show up when they're not busy and they'll start processing it. Our people don't have any negative towards the production of furniture, so this should help. Oh, and we also need to add in a furniture storage section in here. Ah, there we go. So, we can store up to 255. You know what? We'll make it 2. So we can store 510. We've also added in cotton, because at some point that'll probably show up. Leather hides. We've got animals in as well. Eggs and... Yeah, because all of those are potential outputs from the Hunter's Lodge. The Hunter's Lodge can produce eggs, leather, and cotton depending on what animals are hunted. So I decided it'd be a good idea to include those into the storage locations. Perfect. Now, we can produce furniture. That means we can now start building the furniture-style buildings, though it will be a while. Are you... Oh, you're maintaining. That's the janitor fixing the place up already. Seriously, how's the place damaged? We just built that. Ooh. 8 immigrants are available? Yes, that brings us up to 35. We just had a new level has been bestowed upon your name. Leader. Do we get to call ourselves something? With more people following you, they now refer to you as their leader. You better train up a fighting force or bandits or traitors will smell weakness. Unlocks training grounds, archery ranges, and gatehouses. That is good to know. I have no idea how to use that. Okay, we're going to have to make ourselves a training grounds and an archery range. And give me a minute. Ooh, they're making furniture. Let's check out the high-tech animations that are going on here. That's right. Roll those thingsy whatsits. That is, yep. That is very impressive there. How are we looking? Do we actually have any furniture in storage yet? We have 0. Yep. That might take a minute. So, looking up in here, if we go under military, we can produce a training ground. However, that will cost a bunch of furniture and stuff. And what we will start building a training ground, though. Oh, look, there's all of our new recruits down there, basing themselves. Training grounds can go over here. That there looks like about the right size. Trading dummies. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Nope. That needs to either go in the... Fine, I'll figure this out. That there looks like a good training room, probably. It's going to cost us 24 furniture and 16 stone. We don't have 24 furniture. Why can't... This room will be blocked. Place doorways. Fine. Sorry, I forgot about that. We'll place one doorway down there. Why not? As well as that, we should probably start placing down roads. That is one thing I have not been good about. To place roads, you're going to come in here, go under construct, and we've got roads. These are just dirt roads. And they sort of give you an idea of where the most traffic is going through. I think there should be nice. Also, all the way through here. In fact, I am just going to road this place up to the bejesus with lots of them. The roads are technically free. It doesn't cost us any resources, so let's do it. Plenty of roads started and plenty of people... Wow, that's a lot of people producing furniture. They've produced one so far. Let's speed things along, shall we? We'll take on 11 more people. Maybe we'll eventually have enough production capacity to support this. Come on. Oh, and someone want to get around to producing our training grounds? We're going to need to worry about people trying to kill us shortly, I've been informed. After much passing of time, the training grounds is starting to be complete, and we do have some furniture in storage. We need a lot of furniture production. How's our food looking? We're at 24 days. I might want to expand out our food production a bit as well in a wee bit. We're starting to hit that capacity amount. Okay, so you finished? Everyone seems to be in training, and according to the encyclopedia here, they'll basically stay here until they reach level 1, and then that will last for 5 years of training. They can be trained up to level 15, but I don't think we're capable of doing that. Also, a level 15 soldier needs to train every day to keep his skills. A soldier with a level 1 will be... We want to keep some low-skill soldiers around this early on. A full-style permanent level 15 army, I think, is for much later in the game. Question is, how do we control how high of a level they go? From what I can see, there doesn't appear to be any way to do that. Number of recruits that are allowed to train simultaneously. Actual employees. Is there a difference between those two? You know what? We'll let him go. If it starts to become a problem, we'll look deeper into it. For now, we have a bunch more people we can hire, which we're going to do. We're grabbing another 7 people. And I think we're going to expand this area here. I think more animals is more better. I just realized this pasture isn't full. There's only 18 of 19 animals in it, so this hasn't actually maxed out yet. So maybe put down a bathroom first or something along the lines. We can put in some other tech while we're waiting for that to max out. Going through the civics, health, and that lavatory we couldn't produce earlier, we now have the furniture to actually support it. So we'll just do it the same size as this one, as in 7 tiles wide. Yeah, 7, actually. Make it 7 tiles down. Make it standard. We're going to need latrines in here and basins and, oh, give us a second. A quick bathroom, some roads to go with it. That should keep everyone a little bit happier. Quick bit of time fast forwarding later. Oh, come on. Almost done. Finish that off. Excellent. Lavatory is finished. It requires 2 plumbers to work. Well, of course it does. Let's see. What have you got? Also, I think that's its coverage area? Huh. Alright, so that's what that is. And the speaker, though, doesn't... Oh, hearth does have a range it covers. Good to know. Alright, that should get all of those people much happier. Let's check out our people. Let's go under services. How you doing? Hygiene-wise, you're pretty happy with your wells. You're okay with your hearts. We might want to increase that. And you're okay with your new spots. What will give you another hearth just to keep you happy? Oh, you can expand these. I'm an idiot. I thought they were a one-size scenario. Fine. Second hearth going down. Now, this thing seems to have maxed out. We've got 19 of 19 animals. It's producing 7.2 meat. Do we have any spare animals in storage? 1. So I say we put in ourselves a nice giant field here to increase food production. Oh, there's 8 immigrants ready to go. We'll take them. Why not? Oh, you hold down control, or if you hold down left shift and click on a building, makes a duplicate of it. So we can now just replicate that pasture if we wanted somewhere else. Or if you hold down control and left click, it... Oh, wait, no, it's control and left click. Yes, it brings you up to build whatever that is. So if it's a pasture, it allows you to build a pasture. If it's a house and you left click on it, it'll bring up the dormitory. So just holding down control and clicking on something builds a copy. Holding down left shift and clicking on something will build an exact duplicate of whatever that building is. So if you wanted to produce another carpentry thing, boom, done. Very handy. It makes forward planning much more popular. Now, let me stick in a massive pasture over here. I figure this is a great area because it's nice and wide open and it doesn't require us to do anything. And oh wow, so our mass grave is looking pretty. Yeah. One moment. That there looks like a decent-sized Aurorac pasture. The thing is, you can't actually make it much bigger than that, otherwise the game won't let you. But that should slowly expand our pastures as we go along. Now, I've increased the priority on this to 11, so that it's taken care of earlier. I was worried that maybe that was what was going on there. We weren't getting these taken care of in time. So what I think happens is, every day, this daily tending resets. And then what happens is your workers come along and they hop into the field. So right now it's at 104. Let's speed up time a bit. And as you can see, it's going up as the workers in there tend to the field. Once they finish tending to the field, I think it generates you the meat, the leather, and the livestock. So, done. And now we get a little bit of livestock in here. Livestock has gone up by 1. And that should help us slowly start to populate this place, which is going to take God knows how many. I have no idea how big that's going to get. Well, we'll find out in a moment, I suppose. Let's crank speed up to 11.5. And done. So what do we got? We got 3 animals in there already out of 41. Perfect. And as it grows, it will speed up as it produces more and more animals. Now that's given us a decent supply of leather. Or is it? Yes. So now that we've got leather coming in, I'm pretty sure we can start chucking down clothing. Oh, and I should maybe expand the roads up there as well. Yeah, that seems to be the way it's going. We'll go that way. Perfect. And we'll finish off this section back here. Done. I like the way it highlights which roads are the most used, just so that you can kind of get a feel for where everything's going. Oh, there's our throne room down there. You know what? Let's add that on. Really should. I think that's enough progress for one day, and I'm kind of intrigued to see where this goes. I mean, we're already up to 63 population. We have 17 more immigrants waiting to join us. I think at this point we're going to have to start expanding into get ourselves some coal, iron, like start smelting stuff. Oh, we got to get clay as well. And maybe expand into some of the other food types. it feels like there's this sort of growing momentum as you go, though our food is definitely plummeting. I think we may have to put in some emergency stockpiles of vegetables. We might need to expand out our fruit production by quite a bit. Otherwise, we could be in trouble. We can also trade some of our stuff away, so we do have some things we could trade away for resources, like some of our leather hides could be traded away. No, that is for the next episode. For now, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.